You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a fascinating character. And I don't mean any of the characters that he plays in movies, I'm talking about Arnold himself. He's a guy that read a magazine in a dentist waiting room as a young boy about Reg Park, who was a British bodybuilder who won the Mr. Universe contest and then went off to play a role as Hercules in a Hercules movie. And Arnold read that article and he said to himself, that's it, I'm gonna follow that path exactly. I'm gonna become a star and I'm gonna make millions of dollars in America. And then, with an almost obsessive determination, Arnold did just that. Even when he was serving in the Austrian military, even after all of the military training that he went through, he would still spend about 4 hours every night weight training. He had to escape the base and hop a train across the border so that he could participate in his first bodybuilding competition. He didn't even have any trunks to wear. He had to talk another bodybuilder who had just come off stage into giving him his trunks to wear. And he went out and performed and he won the contest. Then of course he got caught trying to sneak back into the Austrian military base. But the guys in charge eventually decided that Arnie would be a good recruitment tool. So they decided to punish him by putting him to work in the kitchen where he could eat as much protein as he wanted. And they further punished him by building him a proper gym and ordering him to make use of it. So a year or so after that, where he had packed on multiple pounds of muscle through that training, he finally lands in Los Angeles and he decides, you know what, if I'm going to continue to work out as much as I did when I was in the army, I'm going to need a secure source of income. So he goes off and he gets involved in real estate and he actually becomes a millionaire off real estate before ever winning a single Mr. Olympia or starring in any kind of movie. I mean, you gotta hand it to the guy. That is something special. There are not many out there like him that can pursue a goal with such determination and do so much raw hard work to get there. And you know, I could of course go on and on about him winning Mr. Olympia 7 times, then getting into movies, then becoming the governor. But the point is, when you look at his life as a whole, you see that he has always been a man with a plan. So after the scandal about his affair with the maid and fathering a love child came out, while that may have knocked him down briefly, he's not the kind of person that stays down. So when he decided after that whole scandal broke to get back into movies again, you know, when you look at his whole life in perspective, you know he has to have a plan and a bigger goal in mind other than just do more movies. So that brings us to his role in Terminator Dark Fate. Now, I don't think this is what the big man had in mind when he returned to movies. I think he has something else in mind, something bigger, something better, that this is just a stepping stone to. Recently, Arnold participated in a Tony Robbins event, and according to Tony Robbins, after the whole scandal with the maid came out, Arnie decided to get back into movies, but he realized that he needed to start at the bottom and work his way up to the top again, because he not only needed to sharpen up his acting skills once again, but he also needed to rebuild his image in the public eye after the whole slept with the maid scandal. Now, I don't know if Tony Robbins is telling the truth with that or not, but it certainly does match up with what films we've seen Arnie do since his return. He started out with just a couple of cameos in the Expendable movies, and then his big return in a starring role in a movie was The Last Stand. What's the matter, you don't remember that movie? Well, yeah, me neither, but apparently it happened. A few other small movies later, and then he got Terminator Genisys and now Terminator Dark Fate. So it certainly seems like he is slowly working his way back up to the top again. And if Dark Fate does turn out to terminate the Terminator franchise, then we may finally see Arnie in something bigger and better, and we will start to see whatever his grand goal is. My point in saying all this is that some people were saddened to see the formerly great Arnold in Terminator Dark Fate, but I say fear not, because Arnie's big return to being an A-grade actor and an A-grade movie star is still ahead of us. And you know, if you want to be an A-list actor nowadays, you've only got one option. You have to get into the MCU. And as you may or may not know, Chris Pratt married Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, making Arnold Schwarzenegger Chris Pratt's father-in-law. So he already kind of has an in into the MCU. So will we see Arnie in the MCU? Maybe he could play The Thing in Fantastic Four. Maybe he could play Scar, the son of Hulk from another dimension. But I say, you know what would be a perfect fit for Arnie in the MCU? There is a Marvel character called Hercules. How ironic would that be? Since Arnie, as a boy, reading that article about Reg Park playing Hercules was what originally launched Arnie's career. It was what originally put that spark into him in the first place. How great would it be for Arnie, now at the age of 72, to make his big return to being an A-list actor by following in the footsteps of Reg Park Park and finally playing Hercules. Yes, I know, technically he has actually played Hercules before in Hercules in New York, but does that really count? I mean, he wasn't even titled as Arnold Schwarzenegger in that. He was called Arnold Strong because they didn't think people could pronounce his last name, and in a lot of versions it was dubbed over in an American accent. I don't know if that counts. I want to see him properly as Hercules. I think it will be so incredible, especially considering that the Hercules in the MCU is strong enough to take out both Hulk and Thor. That's pretty strong. Hercules has a big beard, which Arnie seems to be growing right now, and it would just be a sort of poetic wrap-up for like all of Arnie's career, like coming full circle back to him making his big return as Hercules in the MCU, fulfilling Reg Park's inspiration. If I were Arnie, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be getting Chris Pratt to suggest putting Hercules in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie and casting Arnie to play Hercules. Who wouldn't want to see a Marvel Hercules movie set in the MCU starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? I think that'd be the best role for Arnie's return. Let's get this hashtag going. Hashtag Herculator. I am Bandit, this is Bandit Incorporated. Until next time, I will see you guys in the comments.